Hey, me and Matt here, and welcome to another random episode of Wheels of Fury. This here is Killer Kyle, as always, and then, of course, our little sidekick, Cleo.
Yep.
And, yeah, I just thought, I was going to wait to do a video for Great Balls of Fire, not Balls of Fire.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're... Oh, never mind. Anyways, so... Basically, yeah. A lot has happened this week. Kind of shocking.
So far, yeah.
I didn't get to see this week's episode of Impact. I didn't watch NXT, although I did a quick review on the website there, WWE.com. But obviously, on SmackDown was interesting to say the least.
Yes.
So, like I mentioned in my video for Money in the Bank to the show,
Yes.
not prediction, review show.
For the review, yeah.
Yeah, I said that Maria Kanellis and Michael Bennett are now a part of WWE. Of course, Maria came back. This is Mike Bennett's first time, except now they're Mike and Maria Kanellis.
Yeah, I found it interesting they're using her last name, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, it just seems a little unusual because generally the girl always takes the guy's last name, and when they were in TNA, or Impact Wrestling now, if you want to go that way, she kind of did the double last name thing. She called herself Maria Kanellis Bennett, which I'm sure she still does go for WWE purposes. She's just going by Maria Kanellis, which is what she originally went by in WWE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now Michael is going by her last name instead of Mike Bennett. He's going by Mike Kanellis, which is odd.
I think it's funny how many people have reacted to that. Oh my god, he took her last name. I can't believe it. It's a storyline.
Yeah.
Fucking deal with it. As I said in my review video, how pissed off I am that she called her, because I knew somehow some fishy was going on, but she calls herself the
she calls herself the first
lady.
Not the first lady of professional wrestling.
Which, you know what, fuck you, Vince. You know, this is, why I don't like, this is why I'm embarrassed to be a WWE fan, because they want to distance themselves from being called a professional wrestling organization. You want to be called sports entertainment, it is what it is. I don't care. You're wrestling.
Yeah.
What you do in the ring is not curling. It's not hockey. It's fucking wrestling.
Yeah.
So...
How can you really call wrestling sports entertainment?
Yeah.
It's wrestling. Now, the entertainment aspect of it can be the stuff that they do outside of WWE, the movies, the TV appearances, late night shows, talk shows, radio appearances, and the stuff they do for Special Olympics and the Biggest Star campaign,
breast cancer awareness,
which I haven't seen in a little bit. The breast cancer stuff as well.
Yeah, Susan Coleman.
Yes, Susan G. Coleman. That, I guess you could say, is the entertainment aspect of it. But the whole premise is based around the fact that WWE, TNA, New Japan, Ring of Honor, Smash, Paragon,
Noah,
Noah,
Progressive.
Progressive, etc., etc.,
Yeah.
etc., are wrestling companies.
Yes, but see, it's kind of funny. Um, WWE, in my opinion, is a lot like Metallica. They're a wrestling They were calling themselves a wrestling company, but for some reason, it's like they branched out into their own personal genre or whatever. You have all these other wrestling promotions, and there's WWE. So for some reason, they're still wrestling, but they include other things, and that's great. But you're professional wrestling. Get that through your head.
See, here's the thing too that's funny, is the fact that when it was WWF, the World Wrestling Federation,
Yeah.
it was solely based around wrestling. Now that they call themselves World Wrestling Entertainment, it's wrestling, but there's also entertainment as well involved in it, whether it be a storyline that they do or some sort of comedy thing they come up with or whatever. They have an entertainment. They have entertainment as well as wrestling. It's not solely wrestling, even though the main focus of WWE is wrestling. There is also the entertainment aspect of it as well.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, that's perfectly fine. But you are foremost a wrestling company. I'm sick and tired of wrestlers who are forced to say, I'm a sports entertainer. You're a wrestler. Regardless, you wrestled in high school or not,
Yeah,
you are a professional wrestler. That's what you do.
yeah. I
But,
agree.
even back in. So, I was watching WWE on demand, which I kind of forgot about.
Mm.
I was watching an episode from '93 with Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair
Mm.
in a retirement match.
Yes.
I remember watching it at that time too. But even then, there was a point where someone said, I'm a sports entertainer. I just finished watching a episode of SmackDown, the second episode, I believe. Rock and Sock Connection
Uh,
versus, I forgot already. It was, Shane and Triple H.
right, yeah, yeah.
See, back then, you weren't afraid to say professional wrestling or wrestler or
Yeah.
anything like that. So something changed along those lines.
Yeah. For some reason, Vince McMahon or WWE made it this huge no-no, if you will,
Yeah.
to call yourself a professional wrestler. I do professional wrestling. I am in the wrestling business. I'm a sports entertainer. I do sports entertainment. I'm in the sports entertainment business, which is alright, but it seems to diminish the fact that wrestling is the popular thing, not sports entertainment, professional wrestling as a whole.
Yeah, and it's like other sports, like, the Super Bowl, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Because you not only have football, you have bands performing, you have cheerleaders, you've got fireworks, you have all this other cool stuff. And unfortunately, I don't watch it, but to me, that would be also classified as sports entertainment.
Yes.
Football, sports, cheerleading, and bands playing. It's
Entertainment.
entertainment. So I don't know where to draw the line, but like I said before, I am a pro wrestling fan. I like sports entertainment, okay, whatever, but
Yeah.
I'm still a pro wrestling fan, whatever. I know you're a pro wrestling fan.
Oh, absolutely.
I was watching another. Speaking of, we're talking about back in the day, watching a episode of WWF, I guess, back in '79.
Yeah.
A young Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember. I know Bob Backlund was wrestling,
Mhm.
and Iron Sheik was there, but he was
Mhm.
under a different name.
Mhm.
It was a good show, but it really, because talking to your dad about wrestling and
Mhm.
him saying, and a lot of other people saying, actually, wrestling isn't what it used to be, which
It's true.
obviously isn't. It evolves through the years, but
Yeah.
I think, especially WWE, they've taken the approach of entertainment and male soap opera
Yeah.
instead of focusing on the wrestling, which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think it has gotten better through the years. There was a time around 2003, 2009 where I doubted ever watching it again, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of a hit or miss. But for the most part, with the exception of Great Balls of Fire, but we'll get to that review.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get to that one later, and we'll get to that one in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah,
But I believe that what has made SmackDown more popular and more and higher up on the ratings is because of the fact that SmackDown focuses solely on in-ring action,
yeah,
whether it be AJ Styles against Kevin Owens, whether it be Baron Corbin against Sami Zayn, whether it be Naomi against Natalia, whether it be uh, the the fast Rizongo against the Ascension. It's mainly in ring, the in ring performance
it's
and
a
the in ring
competition.
competition. SmackDown or Raw, see over the last little while, especially when they had Triple H and Stephanie in power, was all about backstage stuff.
Yeah,
Like they did do quite a bit of in ring action, but it seemed to be like Stephanie having a conversation with somebody, Triple H having a conversation with somebody. You
yeah,
know, who attacked Enzo? Who attacked Big Cass? Who's the one that's been sending Kurt Angle these anonymous messages? Um, an interview with somebody, and it just takes away from the in ring competition. Now, you can argue the fact that SmackDown is 2 hours, and they can fill those 2 hours with a lot of wrestling, and because Raw is 3 hours, they need to do a little more to fill those 3 hours, which I agree with. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to reduce your number of matches and fill it with interviews. Something with Kurt. Well, I'm going by currently. Backstage interviews. Something to do with Kurt Angle. Something to do with Enzo and Cass. You know, um, whatever.
Yeah. I think it just segued into our first topic on hand. Monday Night Raw was interesting.
Yes,
Very
to
interesting.
say the least.
Yeah. No real interference with Joe and Lesnar. Although they had the interviews separately, which were pretty interesting.
I think so far they're doing a pretty good job of hyping up the match between Joe and Lesnar for the Great Balls of Fire pay per view.
Yeah, no, they are, and I think they need to. I don't know, maybe amp it up a little bit, like maybe
Yeah.
have another brawl or so. I don't know. It's gonna be a really good match.
Well, Brock Lesnar is expected to be on Raw this coming Monday, so
Yeah,
who knows?
Who knows what we're gonna see? I'm trying to think of what else happened.
Well, we had the splitting up, you could say, I guess.
Oh, I want to get to that later.
Oh.
Well, fuck it. Let's get to that now. Enzo and yeah,
Big Cass are.
their splits fell. Well, what did you think of this? Because I've heard a lot of people say that it wasn't their time because there's not a lot of take teams on Raw. I mean, not a lot of face take teams on Raw.
Yeah.
They were really good at what they did. They were very entertaining.
Yes.
And then this happened. And I was almost reminded of the Shawn Michaels Triple H thing in the summer of 2002.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, thanks. Where were we? I knew this shit was going to happen.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
I'll say again here what I said to you on Tuesday. It's a shame that Enzo and Cass are splitting up, but at the same time, it might work out to have them separate and see maybe what they can do, WWE or Raw can do with the two of them separately. Give Cass a plus for championship, Intercontinental Championship, maybe Universal Championship, something along those lines. Enzo, maybe. Oh, for fuck's sakes!
Oh my god! It's Mom again. It's Mom again. You know what? Fuck it. So, okay. Yeah, I was surprised myself because here's a take team that did really well.
Oh, yeah.
No, they didn't become tag team champions. They could have. They should have. But all the stuff on Monday where Enzo and Cass, Enzo, you know, it was Big Cass going, "You held me back. I was like the guy that held you back," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you had the WWE Championship opportunity, and he lost. It had nothing to do with fucking Enzo. So they were probably feeding these two lines on how they wanted this to go. Do I see an opportunity for fucking Enzo? I don't know. Cass does have a few things that he can do. And it's unfortunate because they were really good. They were very good together, especially on NXT.
And it could have been a possibility that maybe they just ran out of things for Enzo and Cass to do together as a team, so they just decided, you know what, let's split them up and carry on with them separate and see where it goes.
well, that's all fine and good, but you have other teams that could have did that. You know, it's funny because people go. Years ago, it was how many tag teams do we have left? And there weren't enough tag teams. Now there's tag teams, and then you're breaking them up. Like, what was the last team that disbanded? I don't know.
The last team that went their separate ways was probably have to go back to shit, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Well, I mean, of course, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil.
Yes.
Don't know what Darren Young is at this point. Yeah, I don't know. So there's that. I can't really. Well, there's the whole. And this is stupid too. Well, I guess it is kind of funny. The Noam Dar thing where he's FaceTiming Alicia Fox and she's on the Titantron. I don't know where they're trying to go with this. They're trying. See, there's no faith in Alicia Fox, apparently, because they keep using her wrong. It just doesn't seem to work.
They seem to try and use her as this crazy, psychotic, loud, obnoxious, rambunctious, rambling girlfriend or person, and it really hasn't worked.
No.
I mean, as entertaining as it's been, there's no reason for it because it's not going anywhere.
Well, yeah, that's weird. It's interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else happened at Raw before we can move on. If anything else. Well, you stop. SmackDown. Let's talk about that now, I guess.
Smackity down.
It was my birthday, so I didn't go up to see Kyle. I don't get the Score Network, so I can't watch Raw or SmackDown or Superstars or anything like that, unfortunately. But yeah, SmackDown was pretty good too.
Yeah.
You saw the whole controversy with the ladder match, the women's ladder match, which, yeah, it's an insult to women wrestlers were supposed to be the new, well, it's not the new thing, but it's like, they're more looked at now as serious, I guess.
Yeah, they were taken a little more seriously now than they were 15, 20 years ago. I mean, I heard mention that early on, if there was to be a women's match, they'd only get like 4 minutes to do a whole match. And then they'd move on to whatever else was on the card. Now it seems to be women are getting, I'd say, easily probably a good 20 minutes or so to have a match. So, women's wrestling has made great strides as far as women getting more matches, longer matches, and now they're giving these women, the women of this generation, more challenging matches, you could say, like the Hell in a Cell, the Money in the Bank ladder match, a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. You know.
But the one thing I don't understand, and I know that nobody else understood, why the fuck that James Ellsworth helped Carmella win the match. And I watched Talking Smack, and I watched this episode where I think James Ellsworth is turning into one of those people that, before I wanted to punch him in the mouth, now the shit that comes out of his mouth, he is asking for a beating.
At first you wanted to kick the shit out of Elsworth. Now you want to take him up behind the bar and put a 9mm to his head and blow his brains out.
Yeah, well, not to that extent, but it's just
Or at least take a baseball bat to his kneecap.
yeah, just challenging.
Fuck.
Daniel Bryan, like talking about it, the new baby, and
Yeah.
what the fuck, So it's like, so next week they're gonna have a rematch,
Yeah.
which doesn't really mean anything because, yeah, okay, Carmella got stripped of the briefcase. She did some fake tears on Talking Smack.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact that the most historical match that should have took place on Sunday is now going to be on next week's SmackDown. It doesn't make sense because that's over now. You just had your historical match. It's in the books.
The reason why they're doing it is because they want to have a proper fitness and somebody that to earn the briefcase that really deserves it. So you can argue till you're blue in the face about, oh, it's Money in the Bank was last Sunday and they had the match. Yes, they had the match,
Yeah.
but fucking Elsworth screwed us of a legitimate, either a legitimate victory for Carmella or somebody else winning. I mean, fuck. Becky Lynch was a hand length away from unclipping the briefcase and claiming it as her own before Ellsworth flipped over, picked up the ladder. Becky goes flying, and then he's trying to revive Carmella so she can climb up the ladder and grab the briefcase, and then he decides he's going to do it for himself, do it on his own, and drop the briefcase down to Carmella. So, I mean, as much as it might not make sense to have the ladder match on SmackDown, there has got to be a proper winner in that match. Whether it be Carmella again, whether it be Natalya, Tamina, Becky, or Charlotte. Either way, there has to be a definitive overall winner of the match. No fuck-ups, no screw-ups, no interference, just a legitimate women's ladder match for the ages and a solid victory for either one of those five.
Yeah, it was also pointed out, I don't know who said it, and it's a good point, like, Shane and Daniel Bryan, well, Bryan obviously was or wasn't there, but at some point in the match, do you not think Shane McMahon can come out and say, look, fuck you, you are not a woman.
Yeah.
We're gonna restart the match.
Yeah. Elsworth, get the fuck out, take the briefcase, put it back up above the ring, continue the match.
And that would have been fine, but no, now you have this historical fuck up in the history books. So that's on you, assholes.
Yeah.
Bailey looks stronger.
Yes.
There was another woman's confrontation. I don't know why they all go in the ring at the same time.
Of course, because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well,
they've all got a chip on their shoulder. They've all got egos. And somebody's going to say something that someone else doesn't like, and before you know it, there's a Donnybrook.
Before you know it, somebody's going to get hurt real bad. So Bailey comes out, and she kicks ass like she's never kicked ass before. So that was good. Hopefully she'll win the title at some point.
Bailey needs a massive fucking rebound after the god-awful, horrific rivalry they had with her and Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Uh,
I mean, yeah. When they had Alexa win the championship, it's like, okay, she won the championship. Good match. Solid win. And then they seemed to push on the rivalry, was fine. But then, once they got into the This Is Your Life segment, that's when it started going downhill. And the nail in the coffin, so to speak, was having Alexa go over Bailey in the Candlestick and a Pole match.
mm-hmm.
It's like, there's no goddamn way you can fucking tell me, on any way, shape, or form, Alexa Bliss is that much stronger than Bailey. No goddamn way.
No,
It's fucking impossible.
unfortunately, that's true.
That's like having somebody get beat up by a 10-year-old.
It's like James Elsworth going over on Baron Corbin.
Yeah,
That's
really.
just not gonna happen.
No,
Um,
not a chance.
but also Baron Corbin now being the guy who has the briefcase, and I think that's gonna be his gimmick now. I hate to say it, a guy who's just gonna come down in the middle of a title match, or wherever gender defends the title, and just fucking tease that he's gonna pin whoever, which it'll get stale after a while, but like, who do you think it's gonna be? Is it gonna be him versus Jinder or him versus Cena? Or he can come in at SummerSlam if it's gonna be John Cena versus Jinder Mahal and just pin one or the other.
I really hope they don't continually have Baron come out and tease that he's going to cash in, because that would just be stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, he did it there on SmackDown. That's fine. But don't continually have that happen. Just have it be that Corbin cashes it in at some point and win. That's it. None of this, oh, I'm gonna cash it in. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, yes, I am. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, yes, I am. Oh, no, I'm not.
Yeah. That,
Fuck.
yeah. No, that's just somebody else did that,
I know.
and it was also bad. It's in bad taste. As much as I do like Baron Corbin, that's in bad taste. It happened once, I don't want it to happen again.
I mean, as much as Baron Corbin deserved to win that briefcase and deserves a championship opportunity at whatever point, don't turn him into this goofy, silly character. Like, keep him as is. As is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
He goes in, he kicks ass, and he leaves.
Unfortunately, once again, Impact wasn't really on so far this week. I did see it last week, when they were in India, of course.
Part 2.
Part 2, yes.
Well, second week, I guess you could really call it.
Sonjay Depp, whatever.
Sonjay Dutt
Sonjay Dutt finally
got his due after 15 years, winning the X Division Championship from Low-Key.
And how fitting is it that it happened
In India.
in India, his hometown. Now see, this is kind of the opposite of WWE, where, oh, we're in their hometown, we better lose. No, in a
We're in
TNA.
this person's hometown, they're gonna lose. Cena,
Yeah.
not Cena, AJ, Bailey, fucking, I can't remember who else. See, well, so far this year, seems like the only person to win in their hometown as far as WWE is concerned is fucking Rich Swann.
True.
Nothing against Rich Swann, but I mean, come on.
Well, speaking of which, so SmackDown, going back to SmackDown for just a little bit, because they were in Cleveland, or Ohio. They were in Ohio.
Yeah.
You had Kevin Owens come out with the United States title. Was said, and this is done to death too. I'm gonna challenge an open challenge to anybody who's from whatever
Ohio.
city it was in Ohio.
And fucking AJ goes walking.
So AJ Styles from Georgia comes out and says, "Well,
I'm not. Yeah, I might not be from around here, but I'm gonna take your challenge." And
that makes no sense."
Kevin Owens is like, no, it's only an open challenge for somebody that's from, I think they were like in Evansville, Ohio, or whatever. And then you hear American Alpha's music start playing, which we haven't seen those two in months.
And that's Chad Gable.
And Chad Gable comes out, and he's saying, "Oh, I just moved to this city in Ohio."
Which again is retarded. So.
And Kevin Owens goes, "Oh yeah, what's your address?" And he names this elaborate address. And AJ goes,
Oh, I heard of that.
"Oh yeah, I've heard of that." And so it ended up being Chad Gable against Kevin Owens for the U.S. Championship.
Yeah. So that's if you're gonna give Chad Gable a U.S. title shot, you didn't really have to do that. That just made no sense.
I mean, considering it was American Alpha's first TV appearance in months,
yeah.
give the two of them a tag match against whoever the hell you wanted to put them against, but like giving Chad Gable a U.S. title opportunity when there was no rivalry between him and Kevin Owens. It was just, oh, let's sporadically put him against Kevin Owens for the U.S. Championship because we want to. It's like,
Yeah. Now, and that's the main reason why they decided to split Enzo and Cass up. They said, well, they're not getting a title run. Well, no, because you're not giving them a fucking chance.
I know.
So, fuck you guys, once again. Anyways.
And it's not anything against Chad Gable by any means. It's just wrong opportunity, bad time.
Well, I mean, it's just the way they did it. Like,
I know.
I just moved to Ohio. That it's supposed to be an Ohio native. Whatever. I do hope he gets another shot at some point, though. It would be interesting.
It'll be interesting. Just do it a different way.
You won't have the face of America anymore, but
no.
America. Shout out to Brian Zane. Anyhow, speaking of which, well, I know we talked about old school things that happened many years ago. Yeah. I emailed Killer Kyle here, the Diva Search contest.
Yeah, it was
back in 2004.
Wrestling with Regret, and the guy that does that,
Brian Zane,
channel, was talking about the old Diva Search from 2004, and they had Chrissy Hemme had Maria before she went off to Ring of Honor.
Right.
Had Michelle McCool and a few others. And of course Chrissy ended up winning it.
Yes.
But I mean, the things that they did during that show was just or during the competition was just like,
yeah, I don't remember half of it, and I'm glad, because first of all, I have to do something with Kamala. I don't know what that was. Then there's an ice cream thing.
and there's The Rock and
Oh,
Pie.
pie eating contest.
And then there's
Christy Hemme sitting on a pie, which is fucking.
Yeah, she said something along the lines of, "My bikini bottom been going up my butt all night, so my ass is hungry and I need to feed it." So she sat down on a pie.
Yeah, this is the Bischoff era, so
Yeah.
that's.
This is during the stupid time, one of the stupid times in WWE.
Yeah, people talk about how this day and age is bullshit. Go back to 2004, 2009 era.
Yeah. What's the when Bischoff was in charge of Raw? You'll see some pretty Don't get me wrong, Eric Bischoff has some pretty good stuff,
Elimination Chamber?
but there was a buttload,
Mm-hmm.
no pun intended, of stupid shit that came out of him being in charge of Raw.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so there's that. So jumping back to TNA. So we know it's Sonjay Dutt. That's kind of a tongue twister.
Yeah, I know, eh?
It was pretty cool just to see that. I mean, well, obviously we know he was gonna win in his hometown, or whatever.
Well, win in India.
Win in India, yeah. They had to show that care package again, where they were gonna stick that thing in his swollen eye.
Yeah.
Um,
Scalpel it open and try to see if they can drain the fluid from it or whatever, then jam a needle in his eye with whatever, a numbing agent, I think it was.
yeah. I don't know why you gotta show that, but anyways.
That made Matt a little squeamish.
And it's funny because I'm into sick things. I just don't know why that bothers me.
Oh yeah, Matt's about as sick and twisted as you can get, but apparently watching a guy get a needle shoved in his swollen eye and
It's
scalpel.
That goes too far.
Cringes that. It makes him cringe.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you could argue the fact that Sonjay Dutt should have just thrown in the towel and given up on the X Division Championship and just carried on with his career and had great matches and whatever. But it also to me it shows that patience and perseverance pays off. He chased the X Division Championship for 15 years and finally ends up winning it 15 years later in India. So, I mean...
Yeah. But, think about the whole thing. For months now, well, for a few months, Jeremy Borash and
Jeremy
Borash and Josh Matthews, which I forgot about the whole Kevin White thing, where they did those little vignettes on WWE.com.
Yeah.
Or was it WWF.com at the time,
Yeah.
where Kevin White tried to commit suicide.
Yes.
So, anyways, so we get to, the vignettes were pretty cool.
Yeah.
So where the KM shit was bad.
Just
This one was really,
dumb. Yeah.
these ones were cool.
Yeah.
I think that Joseph Park is funny.
Oh,
Despite
absolutely.
being a dork, he is quite funny talking.
Yeah.
And, nobody really talks about George Hackenschmidt like he did 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, nobody... Not very often nowadays are the wrestlers mentioned from the 50s.
No.
Or the 60s, George Hackenschmidt, Carl Gotch, Frank Gotch,
Kyle Gotch,
Ed the Stranger
Lewis, Billy Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually very cool to see that. And then, of course, we got Allie and
Braxton.
who are gonna have a match with the Mess, Lauren Vaness. Vaness the Mess.
That's the mess.
And,
Yeah, there's going to be a match between Sienna and Van Ness. Holy crap, I got the hiccups, I think. And Adelie and Rosemary. Now, there's. When Rosemary came to Allie's defense there, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, or 3 weeks ago, it looked like they were attempting or going to we're in the process of turning Rosemary face after Crazy Steve and Abyss got beat by LAX in that street fight, I think it was, for the tag titles.
yeah.
And, Abyss went to the Joseph Park character, and now Crazy Steve has left TNA, and I had seen on Facebook, I think it was, apparently Crazy Steve is training at the Performance Center.
Oh, wow.
So, I'm not sure when or at what point, but keep an eye out. I'm sure maybe we'll see Crazy Steve in WWE at some point. Just a little teaser.
Well, they're probably going to change his name, but it doesn't matter. That'll be fun.
I gotta get going here soon.
So, yeah, like I said, so, and in that case, I didn't watch NXT. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
The Aleister Black versus Cassius Ohno was really good. That's all I know.
Yeah, I watched that match. It was a good match.
So, anyways, this has been another episode of Wheels of Fury. Have anything else to add?
NXT was good. SmackDown was good. Raw was fairly good.
Yeah.
The whole... I think they could have done the turn of Cows on Enzo and done it a little differently, but we'll see where it goes we'll see where it goes between those two, and yeah, Impact hopefully will be good.
Yeah.
And
we will be doing our Great Balls of Fire review
in the next 3 weeks
Well, yeah.
coming up.
And if there's something interesting in between, I'm pretty sure we'll do another one of these.
Most likely.
Without interruptions.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Alright, well, for me and Matt, this here's Killer Kyle. Talk to you later. Take two.
And we're back.
Oh, no.
The last team that went their separate ways, but
And,
for
Pappy.
yes, for sugar.
Well, that didn't work. Whoopsie.
Yeah.
With Triple H. Joined. Motherfucker.
Hold that.
It's Mama Gav.